Greetings everyone, this is Eldad Amara, back with another video. Now, don't forget to check out my other channel, which is called Spiritual Echelons, where I talk about natural medicines, I talk about spirituality, I talk about religion, yoga, meditation, and all of those kinds of things. A lot of stuff about the metaphysical. Now on this channel, Eyes Wide Shut, I talk about more general things, okay? Now, this video today, I want to discuss drones. In the past, in my prophecies, I've talked about drones and how drones will start to be used more frequently during 2024 onwards. Let me tell you, technology can be used for either good or it can be used for bad. Let me just state that right from the off. Technology can be used for your good, or technology can be used for bad. It's all dependent on the mind behind the technology. Just like you have a gun can be used for good, or a gun can be used for bad. It's all to do with the intention, the mind behind the gun, the mind behind the drones. Now, in 2024, I predict there will be much more drones. I'm talking about these miniature drones, not these big drones that they use in the Air Force, but smaller drones. They can be used for good, such as taking medicines to other people in remote areas or to the elderly. So you can use a drone and you can fly the drone to a location where it would be easier for people to be able to pick up their medication. It could be used also for food purposes. So these drones may be able to carry food, yeah, for the elderly or for the vulnerable, okay? Take these things to a person's home, and that will save them having to travel. Or if they had some form of disability and they couldn't move, the drones could be used for good purposes there. Also, drones can be used for good purposes in terms of finding or detecting crime. So if a drone was flying around and it saw somebody trying to break into somebody's car, okay, it could be used for good there. Also, in riots, where there's people rioting and destroying people's cars, burning out buildings, turning over cars, drones may be able to be used for good purposes there, by being able to monitor and detect people's faces, be able to pick out troublemakers. Now, it is quite possible that drones could have biometric data gathering technology on them to be able to pick out certain troublemakers, or be able to identify troublemakers from previous offenses. The drones may have biometric data gathering technology on them, so therefore can detect certain troublemakers from previous crimes they may have committed or previous riots they've been involved in. So these are good things that drones can be used for. Now in China, I'm going to show you a video in a minute. In China, there was some clothing which was stuck on a electrical pylon, and guess what? And this drone had a flamethrower on it, and it started to burn the clothing off of the pylon. So now electricity could be used more safely. And also in China, again, there was a wasp nest in a tree, and a flamethrower which was attached to a drone was used in order to burn away the wasp nest. So, as I say again, you can use technology for good, or you can use technology for bad. And on the adverse side to this, technology can be used for bad. This technology could be misused. Say for example, we know what happened in 2020 when a lot of us had to be locked down. We had to stay indoors. Now if this was to happen again, I'm sure they're going to use drones to check up and to monitor people and make sure that people are staying indoors, staying in their houses. Now, if these drones have the capability of collecting people's biometric data and has facial recognition, then it will be much more easier for these drones to keep an eye on certain groups of people. Now, this information might be going back to some police station. Next thing, you're getting a fine in the post telling you that you were supposed to have been staying indoors and you hadn't been. So if you decide you don't want to stay indoors, these drones could be taking pictures of you, sending that information back to the police, and next thing they're on your doorstep telling you you got to go to the police station. You've been arrested because you weren't obeying the law. I said that you could use these drones also if there were things such as riots. But what also if these drones were used to target certain groups of people, such as black people or Chinese people or white people? How do you know that this technology isn't built with some kind of bias against certain racial groups or ethnic groups? And so therefore, if these drones have the capability of carrying weapons on them, how do you know that these weapons may not be used adversely? How do you know that these weapons may not be used against them? They are starting to develop drones now that can shoot bullets. They're starting to develop now drones that can carry grenades. So how do you know that certain groups of people may not be attacked due to their ethnicity, their race, their color, and so forth? As I say again, it all depends on the mind behind the technology. It all depends on the mind behind the technology. It could be used for good or it could be used for bad. Another thing that drones could be used for, you see people are starting to buy drones now. The general public, they can buy drones now. How do you know that your neighbor might not buy a drone and be gathering up information on you or on another neighbor and using this information and sending it to the government or to the police? Isn't this going to be an infringement on your human rights? You could be led in your garden. Now you could be in your garden sunbathing. You're in your own private space. You could be in your garden with friends having a barbecue, and somebody's got a drone and they're flying it over your home and taking pictures of you and your friends. Now, isn't this an invasion of privacy? Where is this information that your neighbor have taken? Where is that information going? Is it going to the police? Is it going to some kind of big tech company? Right? Or is it going somewhere else? Where is this information going? The government might start using this kind of technology where people are using drones against one another. Okay, another form of divide and rule. And the incentive for keeping these drones may be that people will be paid by the police or by the government for keeping tabs on certain people. As I say again, technology can be used for good or it can be used for bad. Now I'm going to show you two videos and I'd like you to leave a comment and tell me what you think of these two videos. Remember I said technology can be used for good or it can be used for bad, and it's all dependent on the minds behind the technology. And there's some very unscrupulous, very unethical people out there. So trust me, so they'll use the technology adversely. This is Eldad Amara with another video. Over and out.